fucking sucks. B&G's frozen. Have to dig bait stations out with my bare fucking hands. Fuck this, I'm getting on the car to warm up. Shit. It's the Tales from the Crawl Space. Cold Weather Stories episode. Bundle up, will ya?
Oh my god, it is so fucking cold. Hey, welcome to another chilling episode of Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. I of course am Brad Harvey, Supreme Overlord of Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group. And with me as always is the lovely and personable Jack. Jack, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I feel like hammered shit because my sciatica's going on me, but it's so fucking cold down here, I had to order an extra family-sized pack of T-shirts from Walmart Plus because my nipples have cut holes in every single T-shirt I have.
Oh, my God, it is that cold. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I got ping-ping.
Yeah, I mean, and this weather, it's like, you know, hard winter is just as bad as hard summer. You're rolling your ankle on the same rock-hard dog turds. It sucks.
Oh my God. We've had snow here today all day long. It just quit maybe about an hour ago. Mm-hmm. So we've got we had snow, 2 days ago, snowed again today. Just can't get rid of the shit. So it's just a nasty pain in the ass. I've just stayed home.
How much snow are you guys getting out there?
We've got about 5 to 6 inches on the ground, which isn't that much to speak of comparatively, but it's out there on the roads. It's instant asshole. Just add water, and it just happens to be frozen water right now.
Yeah, so pretty much.
People can't drive, so I just stay the hell off the road.
Yeah. Trouble here in Indiana is we always get, it's very rare that we get like a massive snowfall. And, for Indiana, massive is 5 to 6 inches. And, it's like all of a sudden we're just like, holy shit. We always get this 1 to 3 inch bullshit that's just enough to be annoying and slow everything down. But not enough to close shit. And, we can stay home and have a snow day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this morning we got a couple of inches, and, I'm brushing it off the truck. I'm driving out. I'm having to drive real slow. I get into the Thunderdome that's known as Interstate 70 in the downtown area. And, I'm driving about 35 on the interstate, and there's nobody around me, but that's fine because I don't give a fuck. I would much rather arrive alive to the office so I can get the Folgers going and get my day started. But that's the kind of snow we get here in Indiana. We get, at least in central Indiana, we get the 1 to 3 inches. We get a couple inches. We get a dusting, just enough to piss you off.
Yeah, just enough to make it just yucky, sloshy out.
But we always get the cold as fuck stuff right afterwards. The stuff that like me, I'm sitting here going, "Fuck, man." My B&G is in my truck right now, and after the show, I'm getting that dude out of there.
Yeah, you better.
I was more concerned about getting the bottle of bourbon I stopped to pick up on the way home out of the truck than I was the B&G.
Well, you're prioritized. That's all right. You're prioritizing.
It's Friday, man. What are you going to do? The first thing you want to do on Friday is forget about work. So
that's right.
I nailed it. My B&G is out there getting hard as a fucking rock right now.
Boy.
Oh shit. So. We all have our methods and stuff of getting back at it when you do something stupid like leave your sprayer in the truck, or forget to keep your windshield wipers off the windshield. People say that that's not a good thing, but they can go to hell. Because I think it's a good thing. Definitely keeps them from freezing onto the windshield. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! I did it. Or what I do is I'd get a contractor bag and lay it over top of the cut it open, lay it over top of the windshield, and shut the doors on the bag. So like with frozen weather, I can just rip the bag off the next morning. I've got no ice on my windshield or nothing.
Oh shit! I'm taking notes, man. That's awesome. So everybody's got their little hacks on what to do, to keep their shit going on. So you still get out there and make that money. But the funny thing is that it's pest control. We kind of focus on, a lot of the companies now are focusing on doing outside services only on these houses, on a quarterly basis, and that leaves the people in the snow belt kind of in the lurch as to what to do. So
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, I guess granules are the mighty savior to all that.
Oh Jesus, don't get me started on that, man. I got to tell you, I was a branch manager for a Donnie Marie company in Fairfax, Virginia, and we had this blizzard type day, every other day snow for about 7 days straight. So we had like 4 days of snow broken up by a day without snow. So it just kept piling up, and it stayed 20s to almost 30 degrees. So it wasn't melting, wasn't going anywhere. All the side streets were hard packed. None of them were plowed because it just kept fucking snowing. And I kept all my guys home because I told the owners, I'm like, first of all, you don't want these idiots out there wrecking trucks because that's a lot more you'd have to pay for all your deductibles and repairs and shit. I said, second of all, what the hell are we going to do? He goes, well, we need to have money coming in, so you need to go out there and put some granules around the house. I'm like, there's 2 foot of snow around these houses. Granules? Are you serious? Because when it does melt, it's just going to drain away from the house. It's going to get into the sewer system, and we're going to have big fucking problems if someone catches us putting granules in the snow and then watches it run down in the gutter.
Yeah,
I said that's what you want us to do. I said, are we putting out granules for Arctic ants, the little white ones that you can't see?
It's all right.
Is that what we're doing?
Snow ants.
Fucking bullshit, man. I tell you, some people, anything to make a dime. I mean, just all reason and accountability goes out the fucking window with some people.
Yeah. My favorite winter shutdown story was originated from the Big Green Tea. We had and I've mentioned this piece of shit branch manager before that worked at the Big Green Tea. We had a day. Let's see. We had, it was a rare winter day in Indianapolis where we got, maybe about 6 to 8 inches. It was coming down hard. I mean, damn near. Yeah, I don't want to say whiteout conditions because the wind wasn't really that bad, but it was that kind of snow, the real tiny flakes that just come down so thick that you still can't fucking see the road. And so this piece of shit branch, I mean, cancellations for the day were coming in left and right.
Oh, yeah.
And so the branch manager was like, well, we can't have these guys on the roads running routes. I said, yeah, you're right. We can't. This is all on the phone in the morning. He goes, well, I want everybody in the office to make calls, collection calls, scheduling calls to reschedule all this stuff. I said, are you fucking stoned? He wanted, it's not safe enough for them to go run the routes, but for some reason it's okay for them to drive their personal cars into the office,
of course,
sit all fucking day and make collection calls and make, reschedule the shit that was supposed to get done today and not, and
right.
I just sat there. I just couldn't fucking believe it. It's like, I was a service manager. I understand. Yeah. You're going to drag me in because I'm a salaried service manager. Make me do the collection calls and do the scheduling calls. That's okay. If I survive the trip in, because it was a 35-minute trip to the office even without the snow on the ground.
Right.
I'll get it. I'm on salary. I get it. I'll get in there. I'll make the phone calls. I'll do all that shit. Oh, fuck no. He wanted the technicians in there, getting the fucking thing. So, I was calling guys and said, yeah, you got to come in. He said, they're like, are you kidding me? We got to, I said, no, you're not going to be running routes. You're going to be coming in here and making fun. They're like, no, I'm not fucking doing it. And then hanging up on me and all kinds of shit. So, we did have a few people come in and boy, were they shitty. And I felt like hell having to ask them to do that. And that sucks, But yeah, that's just some bullshit there. And you're also talking about guys that are on production too doing that. There ain't no damn wonder they, most of them told me to go pound sand.
Right, because they're not going to make a fucking penny sitting in the office anyways.
Exactly. So. Well,
I tell you, when I was at the Donnie and Marie in Baltimore, apparently out in Salt Lake City, they don't get ice storms like we get on the East Coast.
Uh-huh.
So we had an ice storm. I managed to get to the office just to check the messages.
Right.
And the parking lot was like a 1/4 inch thick sheet of ice. So I said, and all the trucks were glazed, I couldn't get the trucks or nothing. So I called the home office in Salt Lake. I said, look, I'm closing the office for the day. Oh, you can't do that. We need to make money. I said, I'm going to do you a favor. I said, hold on. I'm going to send you a little video. So I had my cell phone making a video, and I was like ice skating in my boots across the parking lot. I'm like, this is the parking lot. The streets are the same. It's a 1/4-inch thick sheet of ice over everything. Power's out at the office. All this shit. I'm keeping the guys home. They just couldn't grasp the idea of an ice storm. They thought maybe it's little ice pellets that you could just push out of the way. No, it's everything hit the ground and fucking froze solid. So
that's right.
They got mad at me. They didn't want me to close the office, but fuck them. I closed it.
Fucking shitheads. Yeah. Sometimes it's better to just ask for forgiveness than permission. And that's one of those cases. And even if you did give forgiveness, who gives a shit?
Fucking Donnie and Marie. It's all their way or no way whatsoever. So fuck those assholes.
Well, unfortunately, it's not just Donnie and Marie. It's also the bigs like Big Green Tea, etc. They will shut down for a postman's holiday, like Martin Luther King Day or whatever. But God damn it, if there's a foot of snow on the ground, too fucking bad. Hit the road.
Yep,
that's
get
ridiculous. Out there. Yeah. That said, we do have those days where it's not to that point where we should stay off the roads, but sometimes it's just goddamn cold, but we're still gonna have to get out and do what we got to do, because let's face it, there are things that need to be done in the wintertime. The snow ants and all that other good shit, but you also got those specialty jobs like bed bugs, rodents, German cockroaches, fleas. You name it, there's shit. It's because it's, after all, it is always sunny and 70 inside.
Of course.
But that said, we got to figure out a way to get to that fucking job and actually do it without having a B&G sickle on our hands that we need to thaw out. And common sense dictates that you bring the sprayer into your house, or you leave it at the office, whatever, in a warm environment. Well, let's face it, guys, we're all human beings. We tend to fuck up sometimes, and that shit's going to stay out there. So there are things that you could do to fix that situation. One of them, most important, is get the pressure off your sprayer, do the Statue of Liberty thing, drain all the shit out of the hose. You're going to be fine. You're not going to, you'll run, there'll be less of a chance that you blow your wand or fuck up the packing nuts or the packing washers and stuff like that. But you're still contending with a fucking solid block of God knows whatever's still in your tank.
Oh yeah.
So, best practice is to bring it in. But if not, we always got 5-gallon buckets laying around. Get yourself a little bit of hot water. If you're one of these guys that has to go into office to do check-in before you check out and hit the road, while you're doing your check-in, fill that fucker up with hot water, dunk it in there, get your shit done. By the time you are done with your paperwork and got your supplies and ready to hit the road, buddy, that thing's going to be ready to rock and roll. Unless you have something like Suspend Polyzone or Alpine WSG in it.
Oh.
Then you're going to have to budget a little bit more time, because you're going to have to take that wand off, clean that filter out, because that stuff is like candle wax once it gets cold. Typically you want to mix that shit up with some warm or hot water and stuff. Get it nice. You make a nice broth. In order to a nice comforting broth.
A broth.
A broth. Yes, a broth. I love the word broth. It just makes me feel warm all over.
It's almost like moist. A moist broth.
A moist broth. Ooh, man. Okay, now that sounds like something that's living between some chick's legs. But anyway,
yeah. Man, I had that girl worked up to a moist broth. Man, I tell you.
Shit.
But anyway, running.
Y'all know what I'm saying. It's like cold weather, shit freezes. Thaw it out. Okay, well that's good for us. That's good for our equipment and everything. Your termite people. God damn! If you haven't winterized your rigs yet, and you're in the snow zone, it's too late, buddy.
Yeah,
you're gonna have problems when that sucker thaws out. It's like you look at it and it's like, oh, it's fine. It's like blah, blah, blah. minute you pull that sucker and start pumping it out, all of a sudden,
lawn sprinkler.
Yeah. You pull that thing, you look down at that roller, and next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire, and you're fucking shooting shit everywhere. But yeah, so the pink stuff, Prestone RV antifreeze, probably the best thing. I've heard of people using just regular old, radiator antifreeze in a 50-50 mix, but that stuff's kind of slimy and greasy and stuff. And if you're putting it in a power sprayer that you're going to do like foundation sprays and Eve sprays and stuff like that, yeah, you can run into a little bit of a sticky situation come spring.
Well, then there's the problem of disposing of it come spring too, because you get these some assholes that don't bother to empty out their truck and get it ready for the warm weather, and they just spray that shit wherever. You're not supposed to do that with green antifreeze. RV antifreeze is biodegradable.
Because for some reason, like cats find it irresistible and they'll drink it and their brain will fry and they end up like a four-legged furry version of Visitator. So yeah, I mean, definitely, you want to dispose of it properly. Typically, what I do is when I winterize a rig, I'll either save the jugs that I had the antifreeze in, or I will keep a 5-gallon bucket or two of certain products whose label I have peeled off, so I don't get trouble with the authorities, and run it in that. Put a lid on it. Do what I got to do, and then to re-winterize it. It's just a matter of dumping it back into the tank, running the shit, recirculate. Now I'm winterized again. So
right,
I mean, it's not rocket surgery and it's not brain science. So the best thing to do, is just fuck's sake, guys, take care of your gear and take care of your gear, and the gear will take care of you. So
yeah, it will. And floorboard heaters are good in a pinch. If you got a little bit of a ways to get to your first stop, shove that son of a bitch. Let it snuggle in all that trash on the passenger side floorboard. Just let it snuggle in there and blast the floorboard heater and try to warm that shit up on the way to the first stop.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, speaking, and when you're out there in the cold and shit doing stuff, I did something today. I have a rat clean. I had a rat clean out I had to do today. Now, I know where these rats are coming from because, again, we had a couple inches of snow. I get out there on site and I see where they had been running around because they left fucking tracks in the snow. I was like, well, so I know exactly where I'm going to put my shit, right? So I've got my old standby. I've got the Protecta Evo station. I have a T-Rex rat trap in there. The attractant, of course, is the beloved Betty Crocker chocolate frosting. Put it in there, and I'm thinking, man, all this shit's going to get nice and going to get really cold. Well, then I remembered that my beautiful bride, Ellen, gifted me on Christmas morn in my stocking some of those little hand warmers, that you like open them up and you shake them up a little bit and you put them in your gloves and the hands warm. I took those fuckers and shook them up and threw them right in that fucking Evo. So I'm hoping everything stays. It's like a nice little
sauna.
Like a sauna, like a cozy little country inn for the rats. And they'll come in, it's like, oh God, this is so cool. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna take my little boots off my paws and just sit by the fire and enjoy a nice lick of Betty Crocker frosting, and bam, it's over.
Those grabber mic hole things is what they are. Those little hand warmers. Isn't that grabber mic hole? That's the name of them.
Yeah, they are. And the little orange and black packet, It's like never. I'll be honest with you, Jack. I've never fucking used them to warm my hands, but I've always come up with some other good ideas for them to use. And we're gonna see how this one works. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I figured, what the fuck, we'll try it.
Couldn't hurt.
I know if I was a rat, it's like I've got a nice toasty place with and if warmth and chocolate was involved on a day like this, I'd be down a clown.
Hey. At least he'll die warm and snuggly.
Exactly. Well, I'm talking cold out here. It's like, right now it's 10 degrees. It was in the teens. The highs were in the teens. We got down to about 3 or 4 below earlier in the week. But we got a guy named Eric Johnson who lives up in Calgary, Alberta, up in the Great White North. He's fucking dealing with like minus 40. Okay. And that's without the wind chill. And he's talking about his gloves. And, it's very important to glove up, you cheese bags. And, when you get into minus 40 weather and you leave those gloves out in your truck, you pull them up. He goes, my nitrile gloves just shatter if I bend them too much, taking them out of the box. And, he's like, the truck cab never really warms up enough either, to deal with it. So,
but is that on metric or imperial? And would it be worse if it's on metric?
You know what? If it's minus 40, let's see, 0 degrees is 30 Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit.
Right.
So that's still pretty fucking cold, Jack.
Oh yeah, I just wonder which one was worse.
Yeah,
but it sounds like it sucks either way you look at it.
Oh, that's no shit, man. I mean, because even with the balmy minus 3 out here in God's country of Indiana, I noticed my nitrile gloves were acting a little plasticky. It's like, you ever see that? Yeah, it's like the movie Bridesmaids, where the blonde is talking about her kids, and it's like she had a lot of these teenage boys. She goes, "There's semen everywhere." She goes, "The other day I was doing laundry. I snapped a blanket in two." That's kind of how the gloves go right now. So typically what I do in that situation is, my first stop of the day, I will gingerly remove some gloves out of my box. They go into my pocket, right next to my, right next to my Evo key and my, my
your balls.
Yeah, my Delta 9 THC vape, for those difficult customers. Body warmth is all that. I'm hoping I don't need to resort to gutting a tauntaun and crawling into its body cavity to stay warm, but you never know. Anything could happen. Climate change. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's that global warming. Everything's getting all warm on us. 40 below. Yeah.
So. But Blake Ton 11, or the second, or whatever, is talking about, we had 30-degree weather at 10 inches of snow on Friday. Today, my truck thermometer reached 1 degree with a minus 25 wind chill. I told my wife when I got home tonight that I'd rather take Friday's weather than today. Salt on the road doesn't work when it's this cold, and I couldn't drive over 40 miles an hour on state highways because of the ice. Also, people's garage keypads entry don't work worth a shit when it's this cold. I never thought about that.
Huh.
Yeah. And he goes on to moan, a typical 9-hour day took 12 hours today. Today can suck it. Oh, tomorrow will be much like today, so I've got that not going for me.
Yeah, you just look at the forecast and you go, motherfucker. You just see how bad it's going to be for the next several days. And
you are not shit.
Stock up on boot sock, double up on your boot socks and shit. And yeah.
The problem, Jack, is with this cold weather. I mean, it's just the business. It's the business isn't isn't as fast moving and stuff that it is in the summertime. We've got business to deal with, but not like we do in the spring when the termites are flying. The summertime when you got your ants, you got your wasps, you got all this other good outdoor shit going on. It's really tough to keep a good head about this, this time of year. Jack, how did you handle it? I mean,
well, luckily when I was doing commercial work, it was a lot of interior rodent stuff too, because they're all trying to push in to get out of the cold. And that was not bad. Snowy days sucked, especially going from stop to stop, because you end up, as much snow as you try to kick off your boots, you end up getting some of the floorboard. And then you get this little steam built up, and you got to keep running your defroster all the time. But you just got to bundle up, man. Get yourself a good jacket. I mean, I think the Big Green Tea didn't like you wearing anything but their uniform jackets.
Oh, fuck.
But those jackets were thin, and I mean, you could feel a mouse fart through the damn cloth on the jacket. They suck so bad. So I'd keep the Carhartt behind the seat. And as soon as I got out of eye shot of them, I'd fucking stop, put my damn Carhartt on, and go on to work. But it's just, you just got to figure out what works for you to stay warm. Look to the old guys. Ask them what they've been doing.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they've been doing it for a long time to say, hey, how the fuck do you tolerate this shit? And, we old guys, we got the rheumatiz anyways. The cold weather affects us a little more, so we got it down to a science.
You got that shit right. I've got a Carhartt. I've got a beautiful Carhartt, and I love it. And it's very warm, but damn it, it is so. It's bulky. It's for me. It's bulky. It's stiff. I have a hard time, functioning with it. I mean, if I'm standing out in the cold, waiting for a concert venue to open or something like that, it's perfect because I'm not moving around. But when I'm bending down, I'm checking bait stations, I'm doing this and doing that. The Carhartt, while it keeps me nice and warm, it's just a tad cumbersome. I feel like the little brother in A Christmas Story, when he's all loaded up with shit and he can't put his arms down and stuff. That's how I feel about Carhartt. My remedy is that I layer. And usually what I do is I'll have a piece of shit t-shirt like I got on tonight. I will put a long sleeve t-shirt on top of that. Then I will put my uniform t-shirt on. And then I will put my wonderful Hoosier Ridge Kennels hoodie on, my green one that everybody sees on the depot. And it does a pretty good job for me. It doesn't cut all the wind out. Now, if it's a real windy day, I will go ahead and throw on the very thin plastic windbreaker Pest Control, the company that I have with the logo on it. I'll put that on. I don't like wearing it because I spilled a bunch of Shockwave liquid on it and it stinks. But I will do it in a pinch, and that helps cut the wind out from blowing through all that fabric. But it works for me, and it all boils down to whatever works for you. If it's a Carhartt, if it's that full body tan suit thing,
coveralls,
coveralls. If that's what you need, you'll get it. It's like I've got some nice fire hose pants from Duluth Trading Company that I wear to work. They're nice and thick, and they keep the wind out and everything, but it still gives me room to, because Jack, I'm a man of action. So I have to
get a man of action.
A man of action, and that action most of the time is trying to keep off my knees as much as possible. So, I'm bending down, I'm reaching for stuff and things like that. I got to have that range of motion. And while a Carhartt is a wonderful thing to keep you from dying out in the prairie when you're milking your cows, checking about 120 bait stations. I'd rather layer.
Well, I tell you, I'm with you on the layering. I can't do coveralls. I'm 6'4", and I'm long torsoed. So when I wear coveralls in the crotch area, they kind of lift and separate. It's ouch. I mean, I got one ball down one pant leg, the other ball down the other one. And it's just completely uncomfortable.
Your boys like to stay together.
They do.
And when they have to go through a separation agreement because of some piece of fabric, it is a problem. My problem with coveralls and overalls in general is I am old, and my prostate is larger than it used to be. A motherfucker's got to piss,
Oh yeah,
and trying to meet the deadline while you're unzipping two flies and trying to find that escape flap in your underwear. It's a bit of a challenge. Fortunately, I'm able to meet the deadline every time. That I know that day is coming where I'm not going to be able to.
Oh, I got to tell you, double zippers with coveralls on, you might as well have a fucking combination lock when you got to piss because they're impossible to fucking get into.
Exactly, yeah, and anymore, because there's times, I will go ahead and bite the bullet and put them overalls on, and it's because I'm trying to keep warm. So whatever pair of pants is closer to the Wandalier and the twins. That fly is in the permanently open position, and the one on the outside is zipped up. So it's just a matter of zipping that one down and digging in and getting Mr. Happy out for the golden snow.
Well, my trick, not just for peeing, it does help for peeing, but for other things, my trick is I'd get those kind of thin micro fleece gloves. They're thin enough, but they stay warm enough. And you cut the tips, just the tip off the thumb, middle finger, and pointer finger, so you can actually manipulate things like snap traps and stuff.
Like the brown jersey gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
okay.
cut the tips out of the middle finger, the pointer finger, and the thumb, just the tips, so the majority of your hand stays warm, but you can still do fine motor skills shit without having to take your gloves off.
Yeah. And speaking of keeping warm, if you're okay with not doing that with the fingertips and stuff, you could do a lot worse to insulate your hand than going ahead and putting on your nitrile gloves and then throwing jersey gloves on top of that. Though that actually works pretty well as far as insulating your hands and keeping them warm. You would think that they would get a little bit colder, when your hands start to perspire and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I will always put my nitrils on and then put jersey gloves on top of it, and my hands, while not ideally the warmest, it definitely helps out. It keeps them from going numb and painful.
It does get fucking painful for sure.
From sitting in. And also, guys, I want to speak to the men here. Mr. Hannigan, let me speak to the men. I want to talk about your nose hairs. Yeah. Because rime frost is a thing. And you want to kind of try to keep yourself looking in the mirror before you go into a place. Because let's face it, guys, sometimes that snot will start running down and we won't feel it because our faces are so cold. And when you go in front, you're outside and you go back inside to either get a ticket signed or go ahead and do the inside service. And you've got these two bands of snot coming down out of your nostrils into your mustache and stuff. And you don't know it's there because, again, you're cold as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a good look, guys.
No.
Maybe go back to your truck and give yourself a little mirror time before you go looking at that reception lady. Keep her from vomiting all over her desk.
No, it's like that scene in Dumb and Dumber when they were on the moped going through Colorado and they had that stream of boogers going down back across the side of their face.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. And because I've been there and done that. I've gone in. I'm checking. They kind of give me this weird look. Too polite to say anything, and I'll go walk and I'll look in a window or something that's dark, and I see my reflection. I was like, Jesus Christ, I got a line of snot that I could fucking drive a truck on, and so it's gross, and you don't want to deal with it.
No,
yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Oh, and on the category of oddly satisfying things, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been cold and you go and you fill your B&G up with warm or hot water and do your mixing, and then you go do that. You start applying the stuff and you feel that wand get nice and warm. Warm water comes in. Michael Costello knows what we're talking about, man. And there is nothing better on a cold day than some warm bug juice coming through that B&G. I'm telling you, man, it feels so good. Yeah, it feels so good. You just want to stick the whole damn wand down your pants, and I love it. I had to stop that. I had a self-storage place, and I was dragging a B&G through these hallways, which were not climate controlled. I get in there, and all of a sudden my B&G stops working. I'm looking. I thought I had a clog. It's like, yeah, you goddamn right, I had a clog of ice. I didn't think it was that cold. It's like it's like you're out in it long enough, you don't feel it as much. But my B&G sure the hell felt it, and I was like, holy shit. So fortunately, I was by the office. I said, can I have the key to your restroom? They said, sure. I get out there running under some hot water, and I'm sitting there. I'm listening to the slush puppy in the tank going on and stuff, and it's like, that sucks. Typically, as far as stuff like that in cold weather, I try to just not to use my B&G at all. It's like I'll go. I've got the Puffy D bulb duster. I've got bait. I've got monitors. I've got a flashlight. I've got all this other stuff that I could do except for the B&G. We kind of. I feel like we should get our customers out of the culture of seeing us with that tank all the time. And I'm not just talking about spraying baseboards and stuff like that. That's a whole other show. But I'm talking about the shit damages the equipment, and fuck, when it's that cold, is it really necessary? No, it's not.
No. It's doing a perimeter spray for non-existent bugs at that time of year. I mean, you get like 30 below, I'm sorry, you're not going to have a trail of ants coming along the outside of your foundation.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
No, and as far as the spiders, you should have fucking killed them, before it got cold. If it's a recurring account, it's like, what the fuck you got spider webs and shit doing in your storage units if you did the job you were supposed to do when it was warmer. But that's just my opinion. But every season has its own pests. I mean, we're talking mice, we're talking shit like that, and and again, bed bugs that are a thing, and bed bugs, mice, fleas. There's a lot of the shit's year round. German roaches.
If you got customers expecting you to go around the exterior, sure. If it's not snow, maybe a little granular will help. But grab a fucking roll of Stuff It and walk around that house and check the foundation for where things could be getting in. From weep holes to where the putty shrinks, where the AC line goes into the house, because that Hercules putty does shrink. So grab a roll of Stuff It and make a show of it. Have that roll kind of out where everybody can see it, and get down there and cram some of that shit in. Take a flathead screwdriver with you and cram some of that shit in there where you have to. You're making a show of it. They can see what you've done when they go around and see a little bit of that copper mesh sticking out, and you explain to them, hey, really, we don't have that many, 6-legged, 8-legged motherfuckers running around, but we sure as hell got rodents right now trying to get in your house because it's a hell of a lot warmer inside than it is out. So what I did was I went around to try to keep them from getting in your house. So, that's what you do.
Yeah, let's talk about that copper mesh, that Stuff It that you were talking about. Stuff It is the bomb. It is a copper mesh. It comes in a roll. It looks like the roll actually looks like one of them little scrubby pads that you see in underneath people's sink. But this actually comes out. You can unroll it. You can tear this shit with your hands. It's messy when you do it, but you can tear this shit with your hands. And it works so much better than Excluder because Excluder is it's like a synthetic fiber that's got a lot of like stainless steel shavings and stuff in it. That shit'll fuck your hands up trying to put it on there. If your employer is giving you Excluder instead of Stuff It, maybe make a suggestion. Say, okay, let's do this, boss. Let's take I'll give you a roll of Stuff It. You roll it up into a size about the size of your finger, and then you do the same thing with the thing. Stick them both in your ass and tell me how both of them feel.
Right.
You're gonna go. They're gonna go with the Stuff It.
Right.
Stuff It is a little bit more expensive, but why do we care about what things cost when we could pass it along to the customer, right?
And you don't have to go back and keep using it either. It's
exactly. There you go. Because that stuff, I mean, people, steel wool is a good thing to use, but the problem with steel wool is it corrodes. Now, Stuff It and Excluder, neither of them will corrode. And, mice typically won't chew on it. And if it does try to chew on it, it will ruin his fucking day.
Yes.
So it's a really good product to use. It adds value to what you're doing. And you don't, and believe me, whenever you're doing an exclusion service, you never have to deal with a customer going, "You're done already? I paid this much and you're done already?" Oh God, I fucking hate that. But again, another show. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. And Jack, you did touch on granules. Yeah, Jack, granules are a good thing. It just depends on the granules that you use.
Right.
Typically, I'm a Nyban guy because Nyban does have kind of a broad thing. And Nyban, if it gets wet, once it dries, it's viable again. It doesn't leach out very much, and it's a nice inorganic type thing. I like it. I get good results with it. So, like addicts, for silverfish, crickets, even, some species of ants will run off with it and, fuck them up, things like that. Just a light granular application on the outside. Typically what I do, again, look for holes to do exclusion on, do a little bit of dusting in some of the cracks and crevices, because, dust is a long lasting thing. And it's one of those things that you get so busy in the warm season that you really don't think about doing because you're just out there just blasting stuff with liquid. If you're putting some dust out, I mean, that's going to last quite a while. That's going to get a toehold on things, come spring, because, a good dust will last several months. So, I mean, it's January, dust, some of that dust will still be viable come May. So you're doing something. You're giving yourself a little insurance in the coming season.
Well, and if you have to eat up a little bit of time because there's not that much to do, I mean, when you're inspecting with the stuff, make note of structural deficiencies. Like if they've got a garage door, the seal that's on the frame of the garage door, you'll see where mice have chewed that little corner out down to the bottom because you got warm air spilling out of that hole. They're going to follow that right in. So write those things down. Let them know that you've been looking, that you see stuff that's going on that they might need to fix.
Right.
So
and focus as much on the current pest that you can. For the now. But for the hereafter, it's like, okay, spring's coming. This will be a good place for ants to enter, and stuff like that. That's always a good thing to talk about.
Oh, yeah. And you're eating up a little bit of time so the customer don't think you're just dining and dashing,
Yep, exactly. So, okay, Jack, you ready for my trick?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, today's trick is I'm pretty sure most of us have seen the movie A Christmas Story, where one of our co-stars in that tuck was challenged by his peers to apply his tongue to an ice cold pole on the outside.
He broke out with the double dog dare.
He did, and exactly. Actually, it was the triple dog dare that ended
up
that's right.
That's right.
Because I think the other kid just totally passed over the double dog dare and went right for the throat.
Yeah.
And poor Tuck, he did go ahead and perform cunnilingus to this pole. And the pole was having none of it. Therefore, he said, "Okay, this tongue is mine now," and that tongue fused to the metal of the pole. So what I'm going to do today, Jack, is I have had the Tony Spangler tumbler outside for a period of no less than 36 hours.
Oh.
Okay. So it is nice and cold. And so I'm going to take, and I wish everybody had a camera. We had this on camera, because I'm going to take the Tony Spangler tumbler that I've had out there for 36 hours with our hero on there, and I'm going to stick my tongue right on her right nostril and see if my tongue sticks. Okay, you ready?
I triple dog dare you.
You triple dog? All right, see, now I got to do it. So, okay, on 3. 3!
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Sit.
Oh.
Sit. Stop. No, it didn't stick. That's the quality of a Tony Spangler tumbler. I'm just jabbing her right in the eye. Tony Spangler, a Spangler art. The guy has a A1 quality product. Paula, my tongue did not stick in her nostril. I guess I could have lodged it in there, but we're just acquaintances. And it's a good quality product. The cold stays cold. The hot stays hot, just like the McDLT. And and this fine, smooth surface on the outside will resist the tonguage of any young man. And and of course, we all like the rubber bottom. So she's got a nice bottom. Paula's got a nice bottom there, rubber. So it doesn't scoot around on your desk or your trunk or your dash or anything like that. And the circumference is slender enough that it will fit in any orifice on anyone's console. So you're not dealing with the big 48 ounce, those Stanley Cups, fuck those. Those are shit, right?
Yeah, they are.
One thing, they won't fit in most fucking consoles. Tony Spangler's tumbler from Spangler Art will fit in a console perfectly. It's
yes,
just the right size. So, and of course, we must never forget that it does come with the stainless steel urethral sounding rod.
Well, I have a feeling I'm going to have Tony Spangler busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest coming up here soon. My alumni weekend from my military school is coming up in a few months. And when I get my Tony Spangler Fort Union Military Academy Class of 89 tumbler, I'm going to be posting that on the alumni pages at the military school, telling them that I know where I can get these custom made. And I have a feeling that Tony's going to be busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest when that happens.
Well, here's hoping. Because you know what? He deserves it, because the product that he puts out is A-fucking-1.
Hell yeah.
So, okay, that's Spangler Art. You can look at it on Facebook, or you can just message Tony Spangler on Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group.
Yes.
He'll give you the deets on how to get one. If you can think it, he can make it. That's Spangler art.
Hot damn.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, my tongue's a little numb now, Jack. You know, that was quite. That's okay. I know exactly where I'm going to warm it up. So,
oh damn.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm warming it up a little bit on some of this. Got my retirement bourbon with me tonight.
Very nice. Very nice. A little snifter
nice.
there.
Indeed. So anyway.
I believe somebody on the Facebook post said something about note to self, make sure you take your inhaler. Super cold weather can be very hard on asthma. So you got to check in with yourself, check in with your health. You know, it's surprising how hard cold weather can be on the body. So
it is. Yeah.
You know,
and yeah, exactly. And and on that note, Jack, just make sure you stay hydrated. I mean, it's just as important in the winter as it is in the summer because the wind's blowing, the air's a lot drier. It's going to take a lot of moisture out of it. And everybody knows that there's the best cheese bag is a moist cheese bag.
Moist gravy.
Moist gravy. And cheese bags and non-cheese bags alike. Make sure you're hydrating, even in the wintertime. It doesn't seem like I always find myself drinking less. I always have several bottles of water during the course of the day in the summer. I cut that back quite a bit in the wintertime, and I shouldn't do that. So just make sure you're still pounding the liquids.
Oh, for sure. And mine is the nice yum bean juice that comes out of my coffee maker every morning. But I fill up my old school beat to shit Stanley thermos. The OG Stanley, fill that with coffee, and halfway through the day I'll hit a 7-Eleven or something and load it back up for the rest of the day. I know caffeine is a diuretic; it makes you pee, but I think I'm taking in a lot more, and I'm peeing out at least at some point. So, still keep something in you for sure.
Exactly, and excuse me, when you're on the road. Never, when the conditions are sucky, never be afraid to tell your boss to eat a dick. Don't let him or her or they or them or z or them or whoever the fuck. Don't let him put you in a situation where you don't feel safe. That goes on the roads. That goes for on the roads. That goes for in a situation where you may be going into somewhere that you feel like you may have a gun pointed at you, and things like that. But anyway, but this is about cold weather, so we're gonna focus on that. The cold weather, if you're, snow drifts, icy roads, steep driveways, idiot ass drivers out there, reduced visibility conditions. Don't be afraid to tell your bosses about your managers and whatnot about it, and they're probably going to think you're a pussy, but who cares? Don't be afraid. Don't get yourself in a situation just because you feel like somebody's going to ride your ass. The hell with them,
Well, my first shoulder surgery, my first of 4 shoulder surgeries, was because I was going around a house that was landscaped on a slope from the foundation down. And we had a little snow squall come through. And as I was coming around the house, walking around on that little slope, my feet slid out from under me, and I came down square on my elbow on the ground, and it tore my rotator cuff. So watch your footing. Like I said, if you don't feel safe and you think it's going to get yourself hurt, I mean, the labor board's not going to argue with you about keeping yourself safe. I can't hear you at all, Brad. I can't hear you, Brad. You're silent.
I hit the fart button. I'm sorry.
There you are. All
right.
I'll leave that in. Just like, oh shit.
God damn it! Now I forgot what I was saying. I was basically saying, I've been lucky in all the years that I've done. I haven't had a really bad slip and fall on ice or anything like that. My coworker at the Blue Triangle is actually fell twice today. So, but he's young. He got over it. Shoes. That your conditioning your shoes are really important too. And if you look at the sole of your shoes in this kind of weather and it doesn't look like you're looking at the tires of a monster truck, you need new shoes.
And that's where saran wrap comes in handy. If you put your boot socks on and then you put saran wrap around your feet, if you're walking around in snow and you think your boots might have a little bit of a leak, a little bit of saran wrap on the outside of your sock for you put your boot in, keeps your feet dry in a dry sock so your foot will stay warm, even if your boot's soaked.
That's sage advice there, Jack. I've never heard
It works. It works, man. I'll tell you, because you hit them, you get that little bit of snow and you find that one leak in your boot starts coming in, your feet get cold. It's fucking miserable. So saran wrap all the way.
Yeah. Make sure you got those shoe covers too, because especially if you're gonna be going into people's houses.
Oh yeah. They're a pain in the ass fit over boots though.
Oh God, they suck. Yeah. Well, they do have Sasquatch size ones. Just have your manager order them. William the Merciful always keeps a good supply of Sasquatch size shoe covers because he is a big footed man himself. So we kind of luck out. If you guys, if you have a ballet dancer's feet or something, then and you're a manager with ballet feet, then you may have a problem getting him to. It's like, well, they fit me. Well, they don't fucking fit me, dude. But, gosh, what else can we throw out to say? Granules. Let's talk about granules for a second. Granules. Actually, having granules on my truck got me out of a couple of jams. Back when I was at Big Green Tea, DERS banned granules, and a disclaimer: this is off-label, but the statute of limitations has expired. So any regulatory agency that is listening to them basically go fuck themselves with their own foot. And okay, now back to the story. Had a problem. Kind of got in a drift close to somebody's driveway. Rocking the truck wasn't working. Digging it out wasn't working. So what did I do? I had some DERS banned granules. And I took about 3 cups of those suckers and put them under that cracked up corn cob. You had just enough traction for me to get out of that problem.
It's good for something.
Also, and never underestimate the largesse and kindness of rural people. I had another problem where I got in that granules were not going to get me out of. And dude brings his tractor out, just fucking hooks the chain up to my bumper and just pulls me the hell out. I offered to give him a little money. He's like, "Yeah, to put your damn wallet away, you son of a bitch," and gets back on his Alice Chambers and just boogies on back to his own farm, and it was great. It was just great. Just try not to get yourself into that situation all the time, because sometimes you might not be. Especially if you got a pretty mouth.
Oh yeah. Let's see you drop in pants. I want to make you squeal.
That's right. I'll make you squeal like a snow pig.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're new on running a route and they got you out in the snow and the cold weather and there's ice on the roads, don't jam on your brakes, because even 4-wheel drive doesn't mean 4-wheel stop on ice.
That's right.
You pump your brakes. You turn into the skid and leave twice the following distance that you usually do. When you're in bad weather, just keep yourself safe. That's all that matters. Is you guys getting home in one piece.
Drive, and having a 4-wheel drive doesn't mean your dick's any bigger than anybody else's. So
that's right.
Your dick's going to end up in that ditch just as much as anybody else's.
For damn sure.
Yeah,
for damn sure.
Be careful. Oh, and windshield washer fluid. Let's talk about that for a second. The blue stuff is shit. Okay. It's like, oh yeah, this stays liquid in up to minus 2,000 degrees. No, fuck that. It does not. I mean, shit, this stuff's gelling up in my thing at 40 degrees. So, and sometimes it's worth spending $1 or $2 of your own money to get the stuff that you need. Sometimes it's better than trying to argue back and forth with your manager to try to get you something that's going to cost a little more. Just go buy a fucking gallon of it yourself, will you? You'll thank yourself for it.
Go to the dollar store, get a cheap spray bottle, 2 parts rubbing alcohol to 1 part water to spray bottle. Instantly takes the frost off your windshield. Instantly.
Yeah. And as far as the salt and stuff, when that shit does, or you happen to run out, I told you, make sure you have plenty of water on you to hydrate. Well, take some of that water and hydrate your fucking windshield a little bit when you're at a stoplight and get that thing cleared out. Nobody needs to be looking through that shit. It's dangerous.
Yep. Yep. You don't want to be looking at the little porthole in the morning. I mean, even for your personal vehicle to get to the shop, you take that one little scraper hole and you're peering through it like you're in a fucking submarine trying to get down the road.
I can't say anything about that because I do that often.
I've done it too, and it sucks.
Oh, I've got my pattern down on cold weather, Jack. It's like I will, my morning routine. I'll get up. I'll spend about a little bit of time on the computer pissing off people on social media. I'll get my coffee. The dog goes to take a shit. I go to take a shit. I take my shower. I get dressed, and before I start breakfast, I go out and I start my truck. And then I go eat my breakfast, take my morning meds, go say goodbye to my wife because she's in bed and I'm jealous as fuck because she's retired. And I get back to the truck. All my windows are thawed out. The snow is loose. It's just a matter of me just pushing it off the windshield and the trunk or the hood, and I'm down the road, man. Costs a little bit more in gas, but you know what? Company gas.
Well, but if you're someone like Tater and you've been doing the tube snake boogie the whole night before, you might sleep in a little too long and have to rush out the door. So
that's true.
Sometimes you got to figure out an alternative way to be able to see out the fucking windshield.
Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? So you know what, Jack? It's funny you mentioned Tater.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going on hiatus, everybody. If you don't remember, the month of February, Jack and I are going to take some time off because I'm pretty sure Jack's getting sick and tired of hearing me talk all the time every Friday, and but so we're gonna take some time off and rest and just kind of get reacquainted with our loved ones on Fridays. Yeah, they've kind of forgotten what we look like on Fridays, but we've got one more episode before said hiatus, and it is going to be a doozy because we are going to have another evening with Issa Tater.
Another evening with Mr. Issa Tater.
That's right. The oh my God! The last time we had him on here, he was freaking amazing, and I'm expecting some great things too. And we're going to throw Issa a couple curveballs too next week. So be ready for him, Tate.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good show. Definitely looking forward to that one. And yeah, we have to brainstorm on some new episode ideas for when we start back in March. So yeah, after next show, which will be my birthday weekend, yay me.
Yay you, buddy.
We'll be taking all of February off. We picked the shortest month because we love you guys. We don't want you to have to go that long without us.
That's right.
Leap year, you're fucked. But other than that,
this is a leap year, so they're fucked.
Fuck y'all then.
Right. Yeah, there's going to be an extra day of no podcast for these fuckers.
Oh boy. So yeah, we'll be off. So it gives you, if you're new to the show, it gives you a good chance to catch up on our almost 60 episodes.
That's right.
So you'll have time to binge listen and catch up, and you'll be square with the house by the time our first show comes back in March.
Yeah, it's a good way. It's a good way to see how we've evolved as well, or devolved, as the case may be.
Yeah, there's some serious fucking train wrecks that first season. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's actually every season has its train wrecks. It's for you guys to decide. So. Jack's right, man. It's a great time to listen, to catch up, and kind of get a feel for it and get in the groove. And then we'll be back in March, all fresh, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed. And looking forward to bringing you the quality of unrehearsed, unprofessional fuckery that we've come to be. So,
yeah, there's not one single fucking episode of this podcast that has ever been scripted. So we pull this out of our ass each and every show with a little help from all the Cheesebags out there for ideas of things to talk about and their contributions, which this show wouldn't be the show it is without contributions from the Cheesebags.
So it's not. Yeah.
Much love to Depot.
Yeah. I mean, this is, so thank you for having two completely uncreative people, giving them ideas. So, all right. So, Jack, looking forward to next week with Issa Tater.
Yes, sir.
Issa, Mr. Tater, gird your loins because it's going to be a weird one.
Yeah, hell's going to be popping. That's for sure.
Yeah, you got that right. So, hey, on behalf of all of us, we really appreciate you listening tonight. On behalf of PCHD, my favorite group, my beautiful host, Jack, and myself, Brad Harvey, we're going to ask all of you to bug the icy hell off.
Bug off.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawlspace podcast. You can find us on just about every single podcast outlet there is online. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll have a new episode next week. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram at TFTC Podcast, on Twitter at Crawlspace Tales, and you can also find us on Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot. See you next week.